Good morning, everyone. Welcome back here to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. Last night was very active here across, especially Kansas. The Central Plains came alive with the severe weather last night. In today's live stream this morning, we will be talking about last night first on all the large hail of reports that we saw. We're also going to be looking at the overall risk. A severe weather outbreak is likely today, and we're going to be looking at the timing of the storms, all the parameters that come into why we see severe weather today in today's live stream, and we'll be going from there. So good morning to everyone out there. Thank you guys so much for watching this morning. I do appreciate that, and make sure you say good morning this morning and where you're from. I definitely appreciate it. Make sure to press the like button down below. Certainly helps more than you know. Looking here at our storm reports from your Wednesday evening, Wednesday night time frame on the 13th of March. This was yesterday. We'd have 3 tornado reports across northeastern Kansas there. Supercellar 2 did produce some tornadoes there yesterday. Definitely seeing some potential damage there. The survey teams will be out surveying the damage from yesterday's tornadoes in northeast Kansas here this afternoon. We did have a lot of hail reports. We had 79 hail reports here. This list will probably be growing through the next couple of days as more information comes in. This is all preliminary, but we did have 9 very large hail reports, such as 2-inch or larger in diameter, mainly in Kansas. Here is the list of our large hail reports that we did see, and this was just some of the biggest hail reports we saw, and a lot of these are in Kansas, a couple in Missouri. Let's go through them here, and you can see we saw ping pong ball size hail in the Oregon, Missouri region, golf ball size hail over there into Carrollton, Missouri, golf ball size hail also there into the Palco, Kansas, and Dwight region in Kansas. Lots of hen egg size hail from Manhattan, Kansas into the Shawnee, Kansas region there as well. Tennis ball size hail even reported in Edwardsville, Kansas. We had baseball size hail that's up to 2 3/4 inch diameter there into Grandview Plaza, Kansas. Here's some of the biggest reports we saw was 3.5-inch diameter hail, large teacup size in the Bonner Springs, Kansas region with a massive supercell, very big, very tall supercell thunderstorm last night. And the biggest hailstorm that we saw yesterday was actually 4 inches. Yes, 4 inches in diameter, softball size hail in the Alma, Kansas region. That was actually the storm that produced one of those tornadoes or 2 of those tornadoes last night in northeast Kansas. So this was certainly a major supercell thunderstorm that not only produced the biggest hailstone of the night in Alma, Kansas of 4-inch softball size, but also a couple of tornadoes with it along the way. So a lot of large hail, folks, and this is only March. We're just getting started with severe weather season. So let's talk about the setup here today and what we do see. Here's the surface map. We have the boundaries here laid out. We have the stationary boundary, aka the warm front, across the Midwest into the northern Ohio Valley, the southern Great Lakes region. This stationary boundary is very key. How far north this goes, it's stationary, but it could move a little bit further north here today. We have some ongoing showers and storms across northern Illinois toward the Chicagoland area, kind of reinforcing this warm front or stationary boundary a little bit further south. This is key because south of that boundary, warm, moist, and unstable air will be growing through the morning and afternoon, supportive of severe weather. And then we're looking to the west. We have a cold frontal boundary that's ultimately going to provide lift and energy for some showers and storms to develop on the western side. This could be more significant for eastern Oklahoma, southeast Kansas again, into southern Missouri, and especially Arkansas as we go into this afternoon, this evening, and into the overnight hours. Again, thank you guys so much for joining. I do appreciate it. Good morning to everybody. Hold on to your questions here for a few minutes. We're going to go through the timing and the setup of severe weather, the outlook, see who's in the risk area for today. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like the live stream so more and more people join here this morning. Let's look at the dynamics and what we're seeing for why we're seeing severe weather here. Look at the 60-degree dew points here. The dew point temperatures are key. Usually 55-degree Fahrenheit dew points are higher is what you need for robust severe thunderstorms. We have that, so you can check that off the list. You can see those 60-degree dew points spreading into the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, so places like Indianapolis, 62-degree dew point today, 61-degree dew point in places like Peoria, Illinois, 66-degree dew point in St. Louis, and then further south, closing in on 70 degrees with our dew point there at 68 in Little Rock. So more than enough moisture for severe weather here and heavy rainfall. Another criteria in which you look at here is actually your surface-based CAPE, or convective available potential energy, and we're not lacking in that department either. Look at the large reservoir of instability here stretching into the Illinois Valley, the western Ohio Valley in particular, into Illinois, the land of Lincoln, into portions of Indiana there, back into Missouri. Notice the values, the reds and the purples here. That's around 3,000, closing in on 4,000 joules per kilogram of energy from Missouri there into Arkansas, northern Louisiana, into North Texas. That's going to be the corridor of most concern today. We have a lot of energy that's strong to borderline extreme instability across that region. And that's the region where the Storm Prediction Center has the best confidence in severe weather happening later today. So here's the risk area, the day one outlook from the Storm Prediction Center from last night's update at 1 o'clock in the morning. They will be updating this throughout the day, so this could look different a couple hours from now than when you're seeing it here during this live stream. But just know there is a slight risk, a level 2 out of 5 for severe weather from central portions in western Ohio through central Indiana. This does include places there like Dayton, Ohio, and here toward the Indianapolis region, back into the land of Lincoln again, central and southern Illinois, Peoria, Champaign, Urbana, down toward Carbondale there, the St. Louis region in the slight risk. This extends further south and west into Missouri, into portions of western Kentucky, so Paducah, Kentucky in play here, western Tennessee, the Memphis region, Jackson, Tennessee, getting into northwestern portions of Mississippi, into Arkansas, into north central Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area toward Tyler, Texas, Texarkana in play here, and portions of extreme southeastern Kansas there. I might have said Kansas, I meant Texas there, into portions of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and then eastern portions of Oklahoma, northern, northwestern, western Arkansas, southern Missouri. That's the area of concern with an enhanced risk of severe weather. This is a level 3 out of 5 for Little Rock, up toward the Jonesboro, Arkansas region, up towards Springfield, Missouri there, into the Ardmore region there, very close to Tulsa, to the south and east of the Tulsa region as we go through today. Some of the concerns in which these storms could produce, again, very big hail. This is going to be a problem again today across portions of this region. So if you see these hatch marks here, that essentially means you have the chance of at least a 15% to even a 30% chance, if you're in the red shaded color in this enhanced risk area, of significant hail that could be over 2 inches in diameter. So we could see more hailstones, baseball size, tennis ball size, who knows, maybe even softball size hail again today, especially down in this red shaded hatched risk color for this region into eastern Oklahoma, into Arkansas, and southern Missouri. Another major concern today, and a little bit more of a heightened tornado threat than we saw last night. We already saw 3 tornadoes last night. We could see more tornadoes here. We have a 10% shading here of tornadoes into far southern portions of the Missouri region, just south of the Ozarks, getting into northern and central Arkansas, into the Little Rock, Jonesboro region, back into eastern portions there of Oklahoma toward Ardmore. That's the area of greatest tornado potential later today. We got strong instability. We have the kinematics. We have the dew points. We have everything together as we go into the afternoon and evening for severe weather. In the brown shaded color and the greens, stretching up into the portions of the Illinois Valley, the Ohio River Valley, Tennessee Valley here as well. There is still a chance of tornadoes, not as high of a chance as in the yellow, but still respectable across this region. Nothing to laugh at, so still, heed the warnings. If you have tornado warnings today in Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois, doesn't mean we can't have tornadoes. Remember, we do have that stationary boundary / warm front up across this region, so that could be a cause for concern for rotating storms along that front, if those storms can become surface rooted later on today. And then the secondary risk, if you will be damaging winds. This will be more of a tendency to be more of an evening overnight threat with damaging winds as these supercell storms today start to grow upscale into what we call an MCS, a mesoscale convective system, as they move from west to east or northwest to southeast through this region. So those are the risk areas. Let's look at the precipitation going through currently this morning. We have some thunderstorms roaming the landscape. The Chicagoland area getting inundated with heavy rain, flashes of lightning, and some thunder this morning. You're probably waking up to that in Peoria, Illinois. There was even, I think, a severe thunderstorm warning, even a tornado warning down into the Peoria, Illinois vicinity earlier on, an hour or two ago. So very interesting storms already this morning. Into northern Indiana, South Bend, Gary, over to Fort Wayne, Indiana. We're seeing some thunderstorms roaming the landscape currently. St. Louis, another area we're watching for storms here. A few of these could be some hail producers this morning, 60-mile-per-hour winds, maybe an isolated tornado potential. But I think any of the storms this morning will be more tendency to produce damaging winds to 60 miles an hour and more of those quarter-size hailstones, but still something to watch on your drive to work or school this morning. Going through the rest of the morning, that line of storms will progress east into portions of the southwestern lakes, the Ohio Valley here, Michigan, down into Indiana and Illinois. We're going to keep an eye on those storms. Pretty quiet, but an isolated shower storm down here toward Fort Smith, Arkansas, into the Joplin, Missouri region will be possible through the morning, but overall, pretty quiet there across the southern areas. It's not until we get into the afternoon. Notice these really strong storms starting to develop in eastern Oklahoma here, into northwestern Arkansas and far southwest Missouri. These thunderstorms from Tulsa down to Ardmore and just east of the Oklahoma City area could be those supercells initially to produce those really big hailstones again. 2, 3, even 4-inch diameter hailstones, much like we saw in Kansas last night. We could also be seeing some tornadic rotation with these storms as well, so wouldn't be surprised if we saw stronger tornado potential for a time later on this afternoon as they cross from Oklahoma into Arkansas or Oklahoma there into Missouri. And looking at the tornado potential and the significant tornado parameter this afternoon, when those storms develop across eastern Oklahoma, you can see these purples and pink shaded colors and whites. That's around 5, 6 on the scale of, up to 10. So that basically indicates you multiply that by 10. It mainly means that you have a 50 to 60% chance of a tornado here within a 25-mile radius into that region, essentially with that parameter, and the environment is readily available to produce tornadoes. As we go into the evening, those supercells in eastern Oklahoma, as they drift east, we have the winds in the mid-level of the jet stream actually moving parallel to these storms. So a flash flooding risk will be a concern, along with some damaging winds and just some hail again across the Little Rock region. I am concerned a little bit more about Little Rock this evening. The southern flank of this MCS, this mesoscale convective system, may have enough energy to spark some tornadoes here along the leading edge. If we have some of those curly cues or spin-ups along the leading edge of that line there in Little Rock vicinity, down there toward Hot Springs, Arkansas there into maybe Jonesboro, we'll be keeping an eye on that through Arkansas. Arkansas seems to be the hot spot for the most intense severe weather as we go into the evening in and around the Little Rock region. So if you know any friends, family in around Little Rock, into the Hot Springs region over here towards maybe Memphis or the Jonesboro, Arkansas region, give them a call today or text them and let them know that there's severe weather, potentially significant severe weather, big hail, big winds, and tornado potential as we go into this evening. So that is something to watch. Going into early Friday morning, all those storms will be progressing through middle and western Tennessee. So Nashville waking up early Friday morning, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning with some big thunderstorms up here into say Pikeville, Kentucky, into the Lexington region. Could be seeing some thunderstorms there up into northern portions of Alabama. The Florence region could be seeing the leading edge of this line. Up here into Jackson, Mississippi, Tupelo into Mississippi, seeing that as well. And then that'll extend back there, back building its way in towards Shreveport with time going into early Friday morning. Let's look at the northern mode because the southern mode looks the most significant. Let's look at the northern mode of storms here. I know everybody's wondering probably about the Ohio River Valley and the Tennessee Valley. So let's touch on this for the risk today. That line of storms, as we mentioned, moving through Chicago, through Terre Haute, Indiana, some of those areas there like Gary, Indiana, up here towards Kalamazoo, Michigan, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Toledo. A lot of these areas up here seeing some very strong storms this morning. Going into the afternoon, we'll see a break. That line will die out as the low-level jet starts to weaken. More storms will be possible here in the wake of that this afternoon. Now, the big question mark here for Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, and even Kentucky for the afternoon evening round will be, do we see sunshine? How much instability do we see? What's the position of the warm front or stationary boundary? That is a very big question mark at this point. Anywhere south of the boundary, I think Indianapolis, Evansville, Indiana, down towards Paducah, Kentucky, Cincinnati, Louisville, you guys are all in play here. Dayton, Ohio included, Columbus, all in play for severe weather going into the afternoon. And it really is, how much instability can we build will determine the severity of the storms. If we see a lot of cloud cover, a lot of rainfall and thunderstorm activity lingering through the morning into the early afternoon, that may kind of squelch the atmosphere and kind of recharging for the afternoon. So if we see more of that, this model could be wrong and we could see less of thunderstorm coverage and instability to work with for severe weather. So that is something to watch. But if that does occur, we will see severe weather moving across Indiana and Ohio into this evening. So we'll keep an eye on that. Very interesting here. These storms will start to move further south into Tennessee and Kentucky and West Virginia as we go deeper into the early Friday morning time frame, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Let's go back to the afternoon, because these storms, if they can develop here across eastern Illinois into portions of west central Indiana, notice the significant tornado parameter in this environment here, where these storms could develop. If you have 1 or 2 supercells in this environment, we could see more of basically those rotating storms. We have 5s, 6s, even 7s and 8s here on the map across this region. That's essentially a 50 to 80% chance if one of these storms develops strong enough, they could acquire some rotation and see some tornadoes going into this afternoon across eastern Illinois into west central Indiana here, say from around the Charleston, Paris, Illinois region, Champaign-Urbana up to Kankakee, getting into Terre Haute there into portions of Indianapolis. That's the area we're looking at for the afternoon. These storms into the evening hours, moving across Indiana there into Ohio. But notice the evening, the significant tornado parameter values actually significantly drop off. That means a lot of these storms will have a tendency to produce more damaging winds and hail versus tornadoes, but still there's some values here. Wherever there's a value, there's a potential for tornadoes, and we'll watch that from Evansville to Paducah, back up here toward the Louisville region, Cincinnati, Dayton, Ohio, getting into Columbus, Ohio region, Chillicothe, Ohio, some of those areas in the crosshairs, basically right along the Ohio River there this evening for the best tornado potential. But I think overall this evening it's going to be centered around Little Rock. I think Little Rock is going to be the hot spot for tornado potential and the most intense severe weather as we go later into the afternoon and into the evening time frame. As we go into Friday, we're going to see that cold front shift further south. That's going to get rid of the severe weather threat for the central southern plains and for the Ohio River Valley, and we're going to see a cooler air mass work in that, most importantly. But our friends down here across Dixie Alley, the southeast, and especially into south central Texas on Friday, still hanging on ahead of that cold front to those 60, 70 degree dew points, like 71 degree dew point in Houston and Victoria, Texas, 70 degree dew point in Lake Charles here, something to keep an eye on for Friday. The instability reservoir won't be as widespread as today, but look at the strong instability. The Rio Grande Valley, Brownsville, Texas, up here to Corpus Christi, Victoria, into the Houston metro area, San Antonio, Austin, Waco, Texas, some of the areas in the crosshairs, and with that most unstable environment as we go into Friday afternoon and evening. And there's the environment ahead of that cold front. Seeing more of a marginal threat from Atlanta over there towards the Columbia region, Asheville into North Carolina, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, and Montgomery, a marginal risk, Jackson, Mississippi, a marginal risk, back here toward Baton Rouge and Alexandria, Lake Charles, and then over here toward Houston. There's a small slight risk area that does include portions of south central Texas, right outside the Victoria area, San Antonio, Waco. We'll be keeping an eye on that. That's the reason, that's the region in which we could be seeing some significant hail again, and around San Antonio, Austin, right outside the Houston metro area, Victoria, Texas. We have to be watching out for that. These hatched marks mean we could be seeing those 2, 3, even 4-inch diameter hailstones again much like we saw in Kansas, much like we could see today. And as we go into Friday, and then you can see the tornado threat is pretty low, but still at 2% across South Carolina into Georgia, and then across south portions of Texas, again around the Austin, San Antonio, Houston, and Victoria region. So we'll keep an eye on that for Friday. Let's look at the timing here. Friday morning, the Dallas-Fort Worth area over to Tyler, down to Waco, could be waking up to some loud thunder, maybe some heavy rainfall here on the rooftops for your Friday morning time frame. A stripe of rain ahead of the cold front down across Louisiana, say Baton Rouge and Alexandria, over to Jackson, into the Birmingham, Tuscaloosa region. Could be seeing some heavier thunderstorms for your Friday morning. Then as we get a break, we'll start to heat up the atmosphere. Widespread potential for some damaging hail down here. I think this could get upgraded potentially to an enhanced risk as we get closer to Friday, because this is certainly something to watch around Austin, San Antonio, and Waco, because we could have some major supercells again tapping into that instability, producing some very strong hail cores there. And look at that, we're already showing some pinks on the higher end of the scale down here into south central Texas near the Rio Grande Valley vicinity around San Antonio. Definitely Friday evening is a time to watch for some major supercells in this region for sure. Across the southeast, Friday morning, line of storms, a weakening, loosely organized MCS, the mesoscale convective system, moving through Mississippi and Alabama and Atlanta region. Maybe some damaging winds and hail, maybe an isolated tornado threat with some of these storms. Not that big of a deal. I think as you stay inside, you should be good. And as we go through the afternoon, some storms moving further south toward the Gulf Coast. We'll be watching for that into like the Gulfport region there into Mississippi, Mobile, Panama City, back down here toward Macon, Georgia, Friday afternoon. And then Friday evening, this will be moving into southern Alabama, northwest Florida, and weakening into southern Georgia. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Then if you want to know what's going to happen after that, briefly, I'll have a video coming out here this morning at 9 o'clock Central Daylight Time this morning. Make sure to watch it. Lots of great information of what to expect more for your region for the severe weather over the next 48 hours across the country, and what's happening long range into late March. So that video will be out at 9 a.m. But just touching on it briefly, high pressure working in this weekend, a reinforcing cold front moving down from Canada, bringing Canadian air mass down into the northern U.S., into the upper Midwest there. We could be cooling down this weekend. But overall, you can see the rainfall amounts up through Saturday could be plentiful down here across the deep south and the mid-south vicinity around Arkansas, the Little Rock region to Memphis, Nashville, up there toward Tupelo into Florence and the Birmingham, Tuscaloosa region, Atlanta, Chattanooga. Some of the major cities out there could be seeing a stripe of 1 to 3, even 4 inches of rainfall locally through Saturday. And you can see that very heavy rainfall laying out here. Some of the numbers, maybe 1.5 inches there in Memphis, around 2 inches there in the Little Rock region, into Nashville, around 1 inch, 1.5 inches there. Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, 1 to 2 inches. Atlanta, about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. So you can see some pretty heavy rainfall. You move further east, the Ohio River Valley, seeing 1 inch to 1.5 inches up there from eastern Illinois through Indiana, through west central and central portions of Ohio there, and mainly staying south of Detroit with the heaviest rainfall there through Saturday. This will cause concern for some flash flooding. So along with the severe weather potential, we have another form of severe weather that is flash flooding potential, again, centered around Arkansas. Arkansas seems to be the hot spot here, at least the last couple of years, for the significant weather events, whether it's flash flooding or snowstorms or tornado outbreaks or something like that. Arkansas once again wins out with the most significant severe weather again in the form of flash flooding and just tornado potential today. Watching the Little Rock region, that's what we're keeping an eye on for flash flooding going through Friday. That will shift down to Dixie Alley and the southeast here. And one area of slight risk there from San Antonio and Austin back into portions there north of Houston and towards Shreveport. And then we have a slight risk there from Jackson, Mississippi, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa toward Atlanta of flash flooding Friday into Saturday, the 15th and 16th there of March. Going into the weekend, that reinforcing shot of cold air we were just mentioning with that cold front will shift south. Colder air up into Canada will seep southward into the northern U.S. And then look at the eastern 2/3 going into early next week. A little shock to the system here after we've been spoiled with spring-like temperatures. we're going to be getting colder into early next week here, and looking at the preliminary numbers early next week, say for the Monday morning time frame, you're heading out to a new work week, Monday morning work, school, running any errands outside. These are your temperatures you're going to be venturing out to here early next week. You can see teens and 20s, and that freezing line going down here to Kansas, Missouri there, perhaps even northern Arkansas early next week on Monday. Tennessee, like the Nashville region, down to 32, 33 degrees on Monday. And to add insult to injury, the wind is going to be a factor. And so our wind chill values for your Monday morning commute will be down into the single digits above zero, especially for Minnesota, northern Iowa, Wisconsin there, into the UP of Michigan. But it could be worse. Look up here into southeastern Canada. You can see Manitoba, Ontario, 15, 20, 30 degrees below zero wind chills. So at least the coldest of the air will remain bottled up to the north. But maybe some hard freezes for our folks down here into Atlanta and into the Florence, Alabama region, or into Tupelo. A hard freeze there in Nashville at 28 degrees, 23 degrees in Lexington. So it's going to get colder here for a time as we go into next week. That's as a trough dives south and east across the eastern U.S., and I do think the United States as a whole, as we go through next week, will actually end up below normal. So that will actually shut off our severe weather potential a lot more readily as we go into next week. So if you have any questions for me with any of the information that we did give you out here this morning, make sure to ask your question down below, and I'll get to as many as we can, as we'll be live here for a little while here. Thanks everybody for joining. I'll try to get to as many questions as possible. If I don't get to your question during the live stream here, make sure to just ask it after the live stream. I will answer as many questions as possible here. I'll be typing your answer out on the keyboard. I'll be hard at work doing that, so make sure to ask your question, even though the live stream could end here in a little while. So don't feel bad about it. Just I'll be answering your questions as well. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. We have a video coming out this morning at 9 o'clock this morning Central Time. This will touch more on mid and late March pattern and what's to come as we go through that time frame. So make sure to do so. Make sure to like and subscribe. Like I said, make sure to like this live stream and subscribe to the channel. All right, so let's see here. We got any questions coming in? All right, so Kaylee Fuller says, in the Chicago suburbs, is there going to be anything? So I'm just going to kind of look at your guys' questions and kind of go back and forth between the slides, answering them as best as I can. So right now for Chicago, as we go into today, Chicago is actually in a marginal risk. You're in a level 1 out of 5 on the scale. So you are in the lowest category of severe weather potential today. That does not mean that the Chicagoland area is immune from the severe weather. That just means there's a lower chance essentially than versus like say Arkansas, but there's still a chance there across Chicago. A 5% chance of hail today. There's essentially a 0% chance of tornadoes. That area actually shifted further south as the reinforcing cold front, or warm front rather, is pushing further south with the morning storms and then the damaging wind threat. So mainly looking at just hail for Chicago. We're already currently seeing storms moving through that region already. We're seeing more storms through Chicago through the morning hours. A little break. It really depends on how much our atmosphere can recover as we go into the afternoon. If we see some sunshine or some breaks in the clouds, that means we could have some thunderstorms isolated to widely scattered coverage, maybe a few hailers out here into northern and central Illinois, into the western Chicago suburbs, into Cook County perhaps, even in Chicago downtown. Could see some of that as we go into the afternoon. But as we go into the evening hours, it's really going to be pushing further off to the east. So hopefully that answers your question there. Let's see here. Is Tulsa, Oklahoma going to be put in the enhanced threat? Let's go back here real quick on the slides and look at that. So Tulsa right now is probably not. The cold front is progressing through central Oklahoma today. The enhanced risk will probably remain where it is, if not maybe be pulled a little bit further east toward Memphis potentially. So we'll keep an eye on that. But I do see the potential for those first initial storms this afternoon to be across Tulsa region, and there could be some significant hail with them, a tornado risk with them, and some damaging winds with them. You can see currently there's nothing happening in the Tulsa region. As we go through the morning, pretty quiet, and then those storms will really develop. either right over the city of Tulsa or just to the east by like 15, 20 miles here. It's going to be that close across eastern Oklahoma, but those storms will quickly race in towards Arkansas and into Missouri as we go into the evening hours. And you can see that there is some potential here. The significant tornado parameter for Tulsa is there, but it's not really that high until you get in towards the Arkansas, Oklahoma border toward like Fort Smith area. And then you can see those storms will quickly move toward Little Rock this evening. I can confirm there was a tornado warning. Yeah, absolutely. I saw that this morning early on. There was a tornado warning in Peoria, Illinois. Thankfully, no tornado was confirmed, but definitely something that could happen in the early morning hours. That's a very volatile environment that we did see this morning. Good morning, KJ. Thanks for joining. Absolutely, Cindy. No problem. Thanks for joining as well. Janaya says, will there be anything for Benton, Arkansas? Well, most of the state of Arkansas is going to see at least, I think, some type of thunderstorm tonight. Will the entire state see severe weather? Probably not, but I do see the potential, like if around the Little Rock region here, there could be definitely some big severe weather today. There is an enhanced risk for northern, western, and northwestern Arkansas, from Little Rock on northwestward. So up here toward Jonesboro, perhaps, Fort Smith, and getting in towards like southern Missouri, some of those areas as we go into later today. Big hail for most of Arkansas. Tornado threat is maximized, 10% there so far, and looks like a damaging wind risk at 15%. Wouldn't be surprised if they upgraded parts of this region to like a 30% for some winds as that MCS, that line of storm, starts to develop and move southeast with time later this evening. So looking at Arkansas, currently nothing this morning. Not really seeing anything going through the rest of the morning. We're waiting and we're watching for the afternoon. Those storms, like I mentioned, off to the west, eastern portions of Oklahoma, those will move into Arkansas over as we go into the evening hours. So around, I think, dinner time, 5, 6 o'clock, you'll need to watch to the west, and then we'll start to see those entering into much of Arkansas, and around the Little Rock region seems to be the hot spot for the most intense severe weather as we go into the evening. 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. I think through 10 o'clock we'll see some pretty nasty storms moving through the Little Rock region. Mexico, Missouri, I can look that up. I'm not sure exactly. Some of these smaller towns are a little bit harder to find, so I'll look that up for you real quick. Let's see here. Yeah, you're going to be fine up there into the Mexico, Missouri region. So looking at this morning, there's not really anything happening. You're in the kind of the dry slot of the storm. And then you go into the afternoon. While I wouldn't rule out a thunderstorm that could become severe, I don't think the coverage is all going to be that great. But if there is a storm that develops up toward Mexico, Missouri, certainly there's a tornado potential, damaging winds and hail. But I think the better coverage and intensity will be further to your east or your south today. So Mexico, Missouri may look out for the severe weather potential through today. But just watch the afternoon and evening. You could get severe weather there. But just the coverage looks a lot less than, say, like Little Rock or Paducah, Kentucky. So. Wilma says, Southern Oklahoma, what's up for today? Looks like some thunderstorms are possible through the afternoon. See, Southern Oklahoma is pretty quiet this morning. Maybe a shower or storm is possible. I think Southern Oklahoma, south and east, especially of the Oklahoma City metro area, toward like Ardmore, those areas, down toward Denton, Texas, the Red River Valley there, we could be seeing potentially some supercells with some big, large hail, some tornado potential this afternoon. But those storms will be moving south and east with time, developing down into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So the residence time of storms down in southern Oklahoma will be much less than like eastern Oklahoma. So I think eastern Oklahoma overall, like Tulsa down to Ardmore, and east of there toward western Arkansas is going to be where those storms initiate, and then they'll grow east or southeast from there. Peoria, Illinois, again, I don't see anything major for Peoria, Illinois. We're seeing storms this morning. We may have some recovery time. Breaks and clouds will be key. If we have any sunshine in Peoria, Illinois, that could lead to more volatile environment for the afternoon and evening. I don't really see any widespread severe weather for Peoria from here on out, but I do think there's still a chance of severe weather. There could be some hailers out there this afternoon, but the coverage are going to be more isolated to widely scattered, so it's not a guarantee Peoria, Illinois sees any severe weather, but it's something to watch out for this afternoon. If you see any sunshine out there, the significant tornado parameters up to around 3 or 4 for Peoria, and we could see some tornado potential if a storm or two does develop. But it really hinges on the fact that this morning's storms really kind of worked over the atmosphere, so a lot of rain cooled air. It's cooler outside this morning. The atmosphere has to recover for any severe weather for that region, so we'll keep an eye on it. Janaya, no problem. Absolutely. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe, everyone, if you have not. We have a video coming out this morning. Again, if you're new here, video coming out this morning at 9 o'clock. Branson, Missouri. BP. Branson, Missouri. It's in the red. Yes. Branson, Missouri, you could have some stronger storms this afternoon. Again, an area where it's not really a guarantee for severe weather, but I think you're close enough to southern portions there of Missouri to be concerned about it. There could be some potential severe weather either late this afternoon or early this evening. So I think around 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. would be a time to watch for the Branson, Missouri region for any supercell thunderstorms that could produce those big hailstones, golf ball size or larger. Much like we saw in Kansas. We saw softball-sized hail in Kansas last night into the Alma, Kansas region, also producing a tornado. We could see the same thing in southern Missouri today. We'll keep an eye on that. So, yeah, Branson is in play today between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central Time. Reggie says Foreman, Arkansas. Let's see here. Foreman, Arkansas. Again, some of these smaller towns I'm not too familiar with, so I have to kind of look these up real quick. So yeah, you're in southwestern, you're just right outside of Texarkana, so far southwestern Arkansas. Yeah, I think you have a risk, especially this evening. I'll just watch to your west and northwest this afternoon, say around 3, 4, 5 o'clock. But I think it's this evening around dinner time is when that line of storms will move through, and they could pack a punch. Damaging winds, very big hail, and tornado potential along the leading edge of this line here through early and mid-evening. I think after 9 o'clock this evening, we'll start to wind down with the severe weather threat there for the Foreman, Arkansas region. Hey, from Northwest Arkansas. Yeah, you have a risk of severe weather up there today. Make sure you stay safe out there. Waynesville, Missouri. Absolutely, we'll look at that. Again, we're here for you folks. I'm here to answer as many questions, and even after the live stream does end, don't be discouraged. I will still answer questions as long as I can here to get you the information you need through the day today. And I also have a video coming out that could help you as well. I'm not sure. Why is it not showing? The Waynesboro region looks like the evening hours will be the most significant for you. You can see this big line of storms here moving through. Yeah, the Little Rock region, and yeah, Waynesboro is going to be a significant problem, I think, through the evening. So early to mid-evening, 5 p.m. or so to about 9, 10 o'clock in the evening is going to be your window for significant severe weather. All modes of severe weather, tornadoes, also some damaging winds, 60, 70 miles an hour, and some big hail, 2-3 inch diameter hail. So those golf ball to baseball size type hailstones will be possible for that region. Will there be a cap in Illinois? Not really concerned about a cap on the atmosphere today. It's more of the storms moving through this morning. So let's take you back here. Again, currently we're seeing storms moving through the Chicagoland area, down through Peoria here, where we actually saw a tornado warn storm briefly, radar indicated this morning. It wasn't a confirmed tornado, but just radar indicated. So still showing a very volatile environment. And then down towards St. Louis. These storms are kind of working the atmosphere over. Okay, so it's definitely kind of squelching the atmosphere of energy this morning. So we're going to have to need to recover across portions of Illinois, especially central and northern Illinois, if you're going to see any severe weather. And this model, the 06Z of the HRRR, the 12Z will be coming out rather shortly if it's not already, and that could look different. But right now, it looks like some isolated to widely scattered activity. Certainly not everybody in Illinois will see severe weather, but I wouldn't be surprised this afternoon, evening if we saw a storm or two become severe with those bigger hailstones and also the tornado potential and damaging winds. And it hinges on instability recovery too. So if we see any sunshine, that means sunshine on days like today you don't want to see, because that means more energy for these storms to work with during the peak heating of the day. How will the St. Louis metro area look like today? I hear it's going to be pretty bad. The St. Louis area, not as bad as you think. There could be some storms moving through like we see this morning. This afternoon, there could be some storms. Again, St. Louis is kind of in the same boat here, same as Illinois, because the storms moving through this morning are kind of working over the atmosphere. But I think difference in St. Louis versus Chicago is that Chicago is going to be north of that stationary boundary. You're going to be more stable. You're right along Lake Michigan, so you're a little safer there. But I think down towards St. Louis, you're more into the warm sector of the storm, so a little different environment than Chicago into the St. Louis metro today. So I would say the storm window for St. Louis is anytime this afternoon into the early evening. You have the tornado parameters here around 3s and 4s. So if any storm develops in this environment, they definitely could tap into that and produce some tornadoes and damaging winds and hail as we go through that time frame. And you can see those storms will quickly grow upscale into lines. So that means more hail and damaging winds versus tornadoes in St. Louis through the evening. So the afternoon is going to be a big deal, and it all again kind of hinges on the recovery. More sunshine, more energy for storms in St. Louis. Newton County, Indiana. All right, so let's look at that. Just kind of moving down the list of questions here. Again, thank you guys for being patient. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get to as many as I can. Okay, so you're in northwestern Indiana. Yeah, same thing. Recovery time, big deal. If you're having storms this morning, it's going to be whether or not. Do you have the drizzle continuing into the afternoon? If you have drizzle, low clouds, you're not really seeing any sunshine out there into the Newton County region in Indiana, then you're probably not going to see any severe weather. You could still see those garden variety storms. These storms, not all of these are going to be severe, but I do think the potential is there if we can recover for a few of these storms to become severe with some quarter, $50 size hail or something like that, and some 60-mile-an-hour winds. So, and even tornado potential even into Indiana. We did show Indiana. This is the region where we do have that tornado potential is kind of maximized for the Ohio River Valley. So you're kind of in that vicinity where you're looking at 3s, 4s, and 5s, or even 6s on the scale here. So if a storm can tap into that environment this afternoon and develop, then I could see the Newton County region being in play for a tornado this afternoon, but it's not a guarantee. It's not a slam dunk. So we'll keep an eye on that. Good morning, Veronica. Thanks for joining. Hey, from southeastern Arkansas. Yes, southeastern Arkansas is going to be an area to watch. There you go. As we go into the evening hours, if you live in southeastern Arkansas, later this evening after 8, 9 o'clock, you're going to probably start to see some severe weather. The storms may be on a weakening trend as they move towards southeastern Arkansas, but I think they'll be strong enough to produce still some strong damaging winds over 60 miles an hour. Some of that quarter to golf ball size hail or so, and maybe a tornado risk. So we'll keep an eye on you there into southeastern Arkansas for the evening. So this will mainly be an evening event for you there, Veronica, into southeastern Arkansas. Oh, Waynesboro. Okay, I think you did. I spell? Oh, you said Waynesville. Okay, I might have been looking through the chat very quickly. I apologize for that, Crystal. Yeah, so let me look at Waynesville. I think I was... that's why it wasn't showing up. Okay. Because I typed in Waynesboro and it didn't show up, and I'm like, where's the town at? I can't find it. But now we're good. So yeah, same thing there into Missouri. It depends on the recovery time, much like St. Louis. I think the afternoon, mid-afternoon, 2, 3 o'clock through about 7 p.m. will be your window for severe weather into the Waynesville region. So 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., probably your window for severe potential. All modes of severe weather, including tornadoes and very big hail, like we had in Kansas last night, could be in play here, 2-3 inches in diameter for the Waynesville region. Again, I apologize for typing in Waynesboro. I don't know. I think I was just looking at chat and just talking so fast. I apologize. Trying to get to everybody's questions, but thank you for correcting me on that. What does Durant, Oklahoma look like today? So Jerry was asking about that. I think Durant, Oklahoma is pretty close, I want to say, to Oklahoma City, if I remember correctly. Oh, actually, it's not. Okay, you're down toward the Red River there. So let's go back here. All right, so this morning you're fine. So Durant, Oklahoma, right near the Red River there, the border between Oklahoma and Texas, you're fine. You're watching this afternoon. Sometime early mid-afternoon, we'll start to see storms, the strongest of which could be north and east of you, but you're very close there. Anything can happen. We'll keep an eye on you there, but I think there is the chance that we could start to see some big supercells there start to develop this afternoon, and then they'll have a tendency to grow into a broken line at least. So Durant, you're in play for a tornado potential today, damaging winds and some big hail. So I'll be watching in Durant this afternoon and this evening, roughly again between about 2 p.m. and 7 p.m., much like up in the Missouri area there. So. Do you think Romulus, Michigan will get a bit of hail? I don't know. Let's see here. Romulus, Michigan. I'm not sure exactly where that's at here. So again, thank you for your patience. So you're south and west of Detroit. Yeah, I don't think you're going to you're north of the stationary boundary. The environment up there into the Ohio River Valley is actually a lot more stable. So you're already seeing showers and storms along that stationary boundary this morning. That's going to keep that area very stable up toward Detroit. So you're just going to see most of the morning actually into the early afternoon with a lot of rain and thunder activity. That's not going to allow the atmosphere to recover. So you're not really going to see any severe weather, I don't think, up into that region. So that's some good news for you. Yeah, there's not going to be enough recovery time. Again, just joining here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, sub up the channel. Video coming out today at 9 o'clock. So mark that on your calendar, folks. 9 o'clock this morning. We definitely have a video coming out today on the main channel here, Weather on the Go. If you are curious, here I'll put the channel. I have a second channel. If you live in the north central U.S. and you're watching this morning, I appreciate that. I'll put my second channel here on the live stream chat, in the live stream chat, so you guys can sub that channel as well if you live in the north central U.S. So there's the channel. It's called North Central Weather Center. I run that one as well, just kind of more in a regional basis, looking at the northern high plains, the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley. So if you live in that area, sub that channel up. We're almost to 400, 500 subscribers, so I'd appreciate that as well. So sub this channel and that one. Brooklyn, how does Tulsa look today? Tulsa looks like you're kind of the initiation zone for storms. It looks like as we go into the morning here, very quiet. The afternoon, like I was mentioning earlier, Tulsa is kind of the initiation point for storms. I haven't been able to look at the newest model data. This is model data from maybe an hour or two or so ago, like earlier on this morning, but it's still pretty relevant. And I think right over Tulsa down to like the Ardmore, Oklahoma region, right there is where we're going to start to see initiation. And then those storms will move east toward like Fort Smith, Arkansas there. So very brief window this afternoon of some damaging hail, could be up to 2-inch diameter there as they do grow very quickly. And we do have significant tornado parameter near Tulsa, but it's not the highest values we've ever seen. The highest values will actually be closer to Little Rock today. So I think there's about a 2-3 hour window of that Tulsa could see some damaging hail, damaging winds, and some tornadoes today, but that's about it. I think the window is between around 1, 2 o'clock through like 4 p.m. And that's when we're going to start to see that move east after that. Clarksville, Tennessee. All right, Clarksville, Tennessee over here. Let's go. Okay, there we go. So Clarksville, Tennessee, as we go through the morning hours, we're dry. So through this morning, we're dry for most of the afternoon. And then I think as we go through the evening hours, we're going to start to see some storms developing in western Tennessee there, closer to Jackson, Tennessee, and Clarksville as well. The main line, though, will be back towards like the Carbondale, Illinois region and towards like the Paducah region. Those storms will be moving through in a line. So mostly everybody in western and middle Tennessee, Nashville to Murfreesboro, back to Jackson, Tennessee, the Memphis region, a lot of those areas into Clarksville even. You can see we're going to see a line of storms moving through, damaging winds and hail potentially. This may be more of a heavy rainfall producer. These storms are going to actually outpace the main instability axis, which what that means is these storms are going to be moving too fast and the instability won't be able to keep up with it. Also, another thing preventing us from seeing significant severe weather in Clarksville will be the unfavorable time of day. Look at this, early Friday morning. This is after midnight, so this is 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're probably not going to see much in the way of any big, significant severe weather, but I would still watch it. Damaging winds and hail would still be a concern. The tornado risk is pretty much, almost non-existent at this point. So that's what we're seeing with that. So again, go sub up to this channel and go sub up to the channel there, North Central Weather Center. Again, same thing, Davin. Yeah, Tennessee is going to be more of an overnight threat, so like after dark, so late evening into the midnight time frame, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when we're going to see the biggest storms moving through middle and western Tennessee, and that'll move into eastern Tennessee as well on a weakening trend. So like Knoxville and Chattanooga, these storms will be on a weakening trend as they move into that region, to Crossville, Tennessee, and that region. Yeah, we're going to start to see that kind of move further to the east, but that'll be more of your Friday morning commute. You're welcome, Brooklyn. You're welcome. How about Alma, Kansas? Are we in for another round of storms? Well, you guys saw softball size hail. You guys won out with the hail contest apparently yesterday. You guys saw 4-inch diameter hail reported in Alma, Kansas. Yeah. You were not in that today. No. The cold front has finally passed. You're A-okay today. You may still see some showers through the afternoon, but those will be just some weaker showers. We're not dealing with any probably lightning or thunder or anything. Alma, Kansas is quiet compared to yesterday and yesterday evening, so you're good there. Thank you, Snowies, for subbing. I appreciate it. Is Jackson, Michigan going to be bad? Let's look there. Jackson, Michigan. Alrighty, let's look at Jackson, Michigan here. Yeah, you're north of the stationary boundary. Pretty much anybody in Michigan today is actually north of that stationary boundary. And if you're north of the boundary, you're going to see a lot of rain. And that's going to actually, again, squelch the atmosphere of instability and a lot of drizzle, a lot of rain, a lot of thunderstorm activity through the morning. And the atmosphere is just not going to have enough time to recover. And you're not even in the warm sector to begin with. You're north of the boundary, so you're going to be A-okay from severe weather into that region pretty much for today. So a lot of the severe storms will be more down to the south into Indiana and Ohio and Illinois. Yeah, I just answered that. Jackson, Michigan. Yeah, you guys will be all right today into the Jackson, Michigan region. I think you guys will be fine. Just seeing some normal garden variety type of thunderstorms. So you'll be fine. You'll be in the stable environment there in Michigan today. Yes, 4 inches, softball size hail in Alma. Here, I'll go back to the slide where we had that. Here's just some of the hail reports. There were so many hail reports, I couldn't fit them all on the screen. So were some of the biggest hail reports from yesterday. Oregon, Missouri, ping pong ball size hail. We had golf ball size hail in 3 different locations, from Carrollton, Missouri to Palco, Kansas, the Dwight region, hen egg size hail there in Manhattan, into the Shawnee, Kansas region, tennis ball size hail in Edwardsville, Kansas. We saw 2 3/4 inch diameter hail, baseball size in the Grandview Plaza, Kansas region. We saw large teacup size hail, 3.5 inch diameter in Bonner Springs, Kansas. And then the big winner, we have somebody here in the chat. I believe it's Amish at Heart in the Alma, Kansas region that was mentioning about the big hail. 4 inch diameter was the winner yesterday in Alma, Kansas. Softball size hail. So hope everybody's doing okay here into the Kansas region as they were hit hard with severe weather yesterday. So our prayers go out to them for sure. Our prayers go out to our folks there in Kansas. You can see a lot of Kansas cities in here with the big hail. And this was just some of it. There's probably another 30, 40 reports on top of this of anywhere from $quarter to $half size all the way to baseball and tennis ball size. So a lot of hail reports. I couldn't fit them all on the screen. So, all right, we got more questions coming in here. Let's see here. Jonesboro, Arkansas. Yeah, that's an area where we're concerned. Jonesboro, you're right on the line there between a slight and enhanced risk of severe. You could be seeing some significant hail there The 2, 3, 4-inch diameter hail, perhaps, just like they saw in Alma, could be a potential today in the Jonesboro region. Tornado threat is essentially maximized. You're at a 10% chance of tornadoes, the highest in the risk categories for today. The damaging wind risk is the highest in the risk category. So you have all hazards potentially there in Jonesboro today. You can see as we go in through the morning, you're dry in Jonesboro. The afternoon, you're dry for the most part. I wouldn't rule out a shower or storm. One of those could become severe if they do form. The main show will start off into eastern Oklahoma, crossing into western Arkansas this afternoon. It's not really until we get to the evening. So about mid-evening there in Jonesboro, that's when the main show will arrive. And this could be for some damaging winds over 60 miles an hour, some large to very large hail that could be over 2 inches in diameter, and a tornado potential there. So some supercell storms will be possible in Jonesboro, mainly this evening. I'd say about 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Most of the evening, really, we're watching for severe weather there. The True Dragon, thank you for joining. Yes, absolutely. I appreciate you joining. And again, you guys make this work. So I go live for you guys to inform you about the weather. We're all business on this channel, folks. So we give you the weather as accurately as we can. Good morning there to Rick James. I appreciate it. I've only seen softball size hail in the 90s. What a day that was. Yeah, it doesn't come around every day. Softball size hail is certainly one of the more rare hailstone types out there. It doesn't happen very often. And most of the time it happens in the central or southern plains. So if it was going to happen, it was going to happen in Kansas. So Kabir Man, thanks for the $5 donation. I appreciate your generosity. Hey, buddy, I'm a truck driver going to Memphis on the 40 just past Oklahoma City. When do you think the tornado risk will be worst and where? The tornado risk today is actually the worst centered around Arkansas. So it looks like Arkansas here, eastern Oklahoma, like around the Ardmore region, and then into Arkansas, the Little Rock, Fort Smith area, and then up toward Jonesboro. That's where the most significant tornado potential will be as we go through the day today. The Storm Prediction Center is actually coming out with their new outlook here at 8 o'clock in the morning in 28 minutes from now. So I'll see here if we're still live. I think we still will be live at 8 a.m. We'll check that out. We'll check that out for sure. But yeah, if you're crossing into like say eastern Oklahoma there, Kabir, and also into like say northern central Arkansas, southern Missouri, around like Jonesboro, Little Rock is pretty much in the epicenter here, and toward Fort Smith. That's the most significant tornado potential there. Again, I appreciate your generous $5. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate it. Emily Berry, Eastern Iowa, Cedar Rapids. Yes, you are fine today. Cedar Rapids is actually right on the line between a general garden variety storm and a marginal risk, which is a level 1 out of 5. And honestly, I really think that's going to be shifting further south. The stationary boundary today is going to be setting up further south than it was showing a couple days ago. And the reason why is because our storms this morning have kind of squelched the atmosphere of instability. We've been, saying this for a few minutes here this morning that it's really, if we see any sunshine as we go into the afternoon is when we have to be concerned. But I think the Cedar Rapids area and Iowa City and stuff like that into eastern Iowa will be A-okay. Maybe just some drizzle and low clouds this afternoon. Potential hail size for Fayetteville, Arkansas. Let's see here. Fayetteville. Yeah, potential hail size there could be anywhere from 2 to 4 inches in diameter today. So about as big of hail as you can get from supercells is possible today. Again, yesterday in Kansas, Alma, Kansas, softball size hail, that very well could happen in your area, or it may not, but there's a potential there of some 2 to 4 inch hailstones in northwestern Arkansas today. And here's the risk. A large area actually of some very big hail stretching from central Indiana around Indianapolis through say like the Terre Haute region, St. Louis, down there toward Branson, Missouri, Joplin, Springfield, Little Rock, Fayetteville included. You can see the Fort Smith area, Jonesboro, Ardmore, near and east of the Tulsa region, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texarkana, Denton, Texas. A lot of those areas are in play with the big hail, 2 to 4 inches in diameter today. Nevada, Ohio. Absolutely. Let's look at that here. Nevada, Ohio. Yeah, you're right on the boundary. I would be watching it if you were there in Ohio. You're outside right now of the big significant hail risk, but you still have a 15% chance of some large hail, quarter to golf ball size perhaps. There is about a 2 to a 5% shading there of a tornado for you, and the damaging wind threat is there, so all modes are possible. If we're looking at the Ohio River Valley here, let's look at that. This morning, storms are near you or just to your west. Going into the afternoon, we'll watch it. We could have some storms developing. Certainly not widespread severe weather for you, but we could be seeing some storms there in Nevada, Ohio, and if they do rumble through, they could be tornadic, so we'll keep an eye on that. That stationary boundary is a lifting mechanism for storms. You can see those updrafts really start to grow, and if they get rooted on the surface, those storms start to be surface rooted. That's when we have to be concerned about tornadoes. Some of these storms may be more elevated, not surface rooted, so more hail producers probably than anything else, but we'll watch it. His old Cadillac hood was not dented. Well, that's good. We don't want old Cadillacs being dented by hail. You know, those are some nice cars. We definitely want to keep them intact. Yeah, to around baseball size. Yes, absolutely. Arkansas is supposed to get it bad this afternoon, but mainly this evening. Arkansas is going to get it mostly late afternoon through mid-evening. What am I using? This is Weather Bell. So I'm using Weather Bell. I'm also using like Tropical Tidbits. And sometimes I use Pivotal Weather. And even sometimes, like when I do live streams for like live radar analysis, I use Radar Omega. Great radar app. If you guys don't have it, make sure you go buy it over there. One of the best radar apps on the market. It's very cheap too. It's like a couple, $9, $10. It's not really anything. So very cheap. Lots of great tools on there. You can see storm chasers live on there and where they're at. You can also see live footage from the storm chasers. Tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flood warnings, the whole 9 yards. So that's a great app for you folks. If you want a great radar app, Radar Omega is the way to go. How about Dyer, Tennessee? So the Dyer, Tennessee region. Yeah, okay, so that region, you can see as we go into the afternoon hours, pretty dry. The evening hours, we'll start to see storms. I think it's early Friday morning, so probably closer to midnight is when you'll see the peak of the storm coverage and intensity for the Dyerville region there as we go deeper into, say, the evening hours. So 10, 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, the Dyerville, Tennessee region, that's when the storms will peak for your area. Damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes will be in play. Sirens going off in St. Louis right now? Let me see here on the radar. I'm going to use my phone real quick. Sometimes it takes a while to load, though. There we go. Yeah, you're right. There's a tornado warning just north of the St. Louis metro here this morning. So we had a tornado warning into the Peoria, Illinois region, and we have two tornado warnings for St. Louis. And both of them right now are only radar indicated, but still it shows you how volatile today will be. So another very active severe weather day today. So we really need to keep an eye on it. So if we're already seeing tornado warnings, this is our third tornado warning this morning just in Illinois and Missouri alone. And that is not even the most unstable environment. That's further north. Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, and like say northern Mississippi, western Tennessee, and western Kentucky, those areas are further south. So that just gives you an idea how active today could be across these regions. So it's just getting started this morning. St. Charles, Missouri, sirens going off. Yeah, definitely seeing a lot of sirens going off. Somebody earlier was saying in the chat that Peoria, Illinois this morning had sirens going off with a tornado warning as well. Anything significant for Louisville, Stephen? Let's see. Yeah, I know where Louisville is. So this morning, nothing. This afternoon, not really too much. Maybe late afternoon could rule out a severe storm potential, but I think the main front and the main system will move through later this evening. So mid to late evening into the early overnight hours. We'll certainly keep an eye on that there for Louisville. All right, I'm going to put this back here. If you guys are from the north central, oh, sorry here, I got to redo this. All right, so if you guys are from the north central United States, I'm going to put, again, in the live stream chat. You guys can go sub up to this channel as well. Make sure to go sub that up. I'll still be doing videos and live streams on this main channel, Weather on the Go, but my second channel, North Central Weather Center, we're going to be focusing mostly on the north central United States, the upper Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, the Midwest, back into the north central plains on that channel. And I do those videos mainly Monday, Wednesday, Friday, unless we have big severe weather in that region, and then we'll start to do more videos on other days. But go sub that channel up. Lots of great videos on there as well. Go check those videos out. I will be doing a video forecast this morning. So even after my live stream is done, a video will be coming out on my channel at 9 o'clock here in about an hour and a half or so. My video for today will be coming out. More information, long-range forecast into late March and what to expect. A cool down is coming. Is it coming for your region? Are we seeing a lot of colder air for your region? We definitely could be looking at that as we go into the weekend and early next week. So more details on that in today's video at 9 a.m. So make sure to do that as well. Yeah, tornado warning St. Louis. Right now it's just radar indicated, but still heed the warnings and go to the lowest, most interior room. Preferably a basement would be ideal. If you don't have a basement, the center, most interior room away from walls and windows as possible, away from the outside walls as possible. So you want to put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible if you have a tornado warning. Always is the key. Yeah, I think actually most of Arkansas will have some type of thunderstorm tonight. Will all of Arkansas see severe weather? Probably not, but a large region in Arkansas will probably see severe weather. I'm pretty confident that northern, northwestern, central Arkansas around Little Rock, and western Arkansas are probably the main candidates for the most significant storms today with severe weather concerns. Jonesboro, I think severe weather is a pretty good chance for you today. Will you have like exactly a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning for Jonesboro? Maybe. I think the chances are pretty high compared to other spots in the country. I think Arkansas is pretty much the hot spot for severe weather today. No, tornadoes have not been confirmed so far this morning. I know there's a tornado warning in Peoria and St. Louis, Peoria, Illinois, and St. Louis, Missouri this morning. None of those tornado warnings, thankfully, have been confirmed, just radar indicated. Is it going to rain today? I mean, it's not, Abilene, are you talking about Abilene, Texas, Roy? I'm not sure what you're asking. There's a lot of Abilenes out there, so you have to tell me which state you're talking about for Abilene. Can hills deter tornadoes? No, they cannot. Tornadoes actually sometimes strengthen as they go downhill. Think of a car going down a hill. If you're holding off on the gas pedal and you're kind of coasting down a hill, that's kind of what a tornado does. Sometimes it can accelerate and intensify if it goes down a hill in a valley. So that's a misnomer. So yeah, you can still see tornadoes in hilly terrain. Yeah, I'll look at the new day one outlook, see if it's come out yet. I don't think it does until 8 o'clock, so let me look. Yeah, the new outlook is not out yet. It's 7:43, about 17 minutes out from the new outlook coming out at 8 o'clock this morning. We can check the new outlook out potentially here as it gets closer to 8 o'clock and when it comes out. But the new day one outlook is not out yet, so we'll keep an eye on that. Anything for Kentucky this evening? Yes, there's some storms moving into western Kentucky around like the Paducah region and maybe like up there towards like Louisville as we go later on into the evening. I think those storms will have more of a tendency to turn more to the south into the better instability. So I think southern portions of Kentucky will probably see the most significant storms overnight. This will mainly be after midnight and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't really think it'll be upgraded to a moderate risk. I don't work for the Storm Prediction Center, so I can't make that call. We'll just have to go off what their outlook shows, but I really don't think today is a day where we're going to see a moderate risk, but hey, I could be wrong. I could see potentially them. There already is okay, let me go back here and show you. There's already a 10% shading for tornadoes, but notice there's no hatch marks, so that means they're not really expecting any significant tornadoes, EF2 or stronger. Can that still happen even though you don't have hatched risk? Yeah. But will it? Probably the probability is not as high. But I could see them adding maybe a hatched risk of 10% tornadoes today, especially there for eastern Oklahoma or western Arkansas, like Fort Smith back to Ardmore and those areas. And east of Tulsa, I think that would be the area to watch for that if that did occur. But the first initial storms will be the strongest there into eastern Oklahoma. Again, I'm going to post my channel. If you guys live in the north central U.S., there's the channel. Go sub up that channel. I'm going to be doing a video probably tomorrow because tomorrow's Friday. We do them Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Unless there's big severe weather, then we do them any day on that channel. If you live in the north central U.S., go sub up to that channel. Sub up to this channel as well, Weather on the Go. We have a video coming out again at 9 a.m. for those of you that are joining and have not heard. So we'll be looking at that. So let's see. I'm an hour from Louisville. All right. Yeah, Louisville right now, you're in a marginal risk, but this could be expanded maybe in a slight risk if the new update comes out here at 8. We'll see. Any news on the St. Louis region? St. Louis, you're in a slight risk currently. Damaging hail potential, 2-inch or larger diameter hail, 5% chance of a tornado within a 25-mile radius of St. Louis, and the damaging wind 60-plus miles an hour, or really technically 58 miles per hour or stronger, is a 15% chance there for St. Louis. Morning storms may kind of squelch the atmosphere, and we're not really looking at any widespread storms for St. Louis. We're seeing storms now that are tornado warned. Those are just radar indicated, thankfully. Not seeing any confirmed tornadoes on the ground or anything, thankfully, this morning, but isolated, widely scattered storm coverage this afternoon in and around St. Louis. Watching out for some big hail. If you're new here, we saw softball size hail into the Alma, Kansas region last night. We saw tennis ball size, plenty of baseball size, golf ball, ping pong ball size hail. That could happen again for even the St. Louis area as we go into the afternoon and evening. And then those storms will start to move south of St. Louis towards the Kentucky, Tennessee region as we go in later this evening. So your window in St. Louis is mid-afternoon to early evening, so about 3 p.m. to 7, 8 o'clock. That's roughly your timing there in St. Louis. Are we going to have severe storms for southwestern Ohio? There is a potential later on today for southwestern Ohio this afternoon. We could have some redevelopment back into Indiana. Those storms could move into southwestern Ohio, and they could produce some damaging winds. More organized storms this evening. So this evening, Cincinnati, Dayton, Ohio, the Chillicothe, the Columbus region, those areas. If you live in and around those areas in particular, this evening will be the main event for you as this front moves through. Thank you so much, Misconstrue. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're only 6 subscribers away from reaching 400 there on North Central Weather Center. So if you live in the North Central U.S., make sure to go sub up that channel. It's in the live stream right now. Here, I'll put it back in there so you guys can see it again. I'll paste it back in there. That's the channel. If you have any friends, family, even if you don't live in the North Central U.S., you still want to know about the weather up there, that's a great channel to look at. And you also could, if you have any family, say you live in like Georgia and you have family living in Minnesota or North Dakota, that's a good channel to keep tabs on how weather is doing and for your extended family or something like that on that channel. I'm near Cincinnati, Ohio, across the river in North Kentucky. So yeah, okay, so North Kentucky is mainly late evening into the overnight. So again, kind of an unfavorable time of day for severe weather. I think southern Kentucky is probably the most likely to see severe weather as we go. Western Kentucky and southern Kentucky. Mike Blue, tornado sirens now going in Wood River, Illinois. Yeah, we see tornado warned storms. Hopefully right now, I think they're still radar indicated, but we'll keep an eye on that. Here, let me look at that real quick for you. See if they're still, I think they're radar indicated real quick. Still. Let me look. Earlier they were radar indicated, so we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, that's here. Let me see. I'm going to look on my phone real quick. I think those storms should still be radar indicated tornado warnings. So we're going to make sure we're going to double check real quick. About 10 minutes away from the newest day 1 Storm Prediction Center outlook. So we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, there's 3 separate tornado warnings there in the St. Louis region. And I believe all of them are radar indicated. Yes, they are. So they're radar indicated. It's mainly a line of storms with damaging winds to 60, 65 miles an hour. They're racing east. These storms are moving east at 60 miles an hour for St. Louis. So they're going to be moving quick here through the morning hours. You can see already this morning, those storms from St. Louis will be moving into eastern and southeastern Illinois. We'll have some recovery time, more severe weather potential St. Louis this afternoon, but it won't be a line of storms. It'll be more isolated supercells, damaging hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes there potentially. Yeah, 3 tornado warnings right now. I subbed to North Central U.S. Nothing to watch there for now. Yeah, no, there's going to be a new video likely tomorrow for North Central. I do them Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Nothing new there since yesterday, so. If you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, as we're going to be live for just a little while longer. And then we're going to, there's going to be a video coming out at 9 o'clock this morning on the main channel here, Weather on the Go. So make sure to check that video out. Give it a like, a thumbs up if you see it this morning. Helping to get all this information passed along to more and more people. The more thumbs up we get, the more people who watch my videos and live streams. So I appreciate your help on here as well. We're all a team here at Weather on the Go or North Central Weather Center. So you guys help me very much. I appreciate it. Do you guys have any more questions on any questions on today's severe weather for anywhere in the country here? I'll still be able to answer those questions as much as I possibly can here while I'm here this morning. Let's see. Here, I'm going to put this screen up real quick. If you guys are just joining, this is just some of the hail size reports that we saw, mostly in Kansas, but a couple areas there, ping pong ball and golf ball size hail at the top. 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches in diameter for Missouri. Oregon, Missouri, and Carrollton, seeing that last night. Definitely a crazy environment last night. We saw a lot of hail reports. That's just some of them. Look at that. Softball size hail in Alma. We've had somebody in the chat earlier that was from Alma. Man, I've never seen, I think the biggest hailstone that I've seen personally, probably quarter size, maybe $half size, but I think that's about it. I have not seen golf ball, tennis ball, baseball, softball size hail at all. I live in northern Illinois, so it doesn't happen every day, but yeah, I could not imagine what baseball size hail or softball size hail sounds like on the rooftops. I'm sure it's pretty loud. Coworker says there's a tornado in St. Charles, Missouri. There's a tornado warning. It's radar indicated. There's not a tornado on the ground. So, tornado warning in St. Louis region. Whenever there's a warning, that means there's the potential for a storm to produce a tornado. So, yeah, these are the large hail reports from last night. I guess I should have put 3/13/24 on the top here. This is from Wednesday night. 65 degrees, 61 degree dew point in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Yes, so that means that you already have a 61 degree dew point there in Jonesboro, and I think your dew points will be rising today a few more degrees, probably to the mid 60s this afternoon, and that will contribute to around 2,500 to 3,000 joules per kilogram, essentially strong instability, and that will feed into the severe weather threat this afternoon and this evening. That's why you're in an enhanced risk of severe weather. Let me look to see if the Storm Prediction Center came out with a new outlook yet. And if they did, we will share them all the data with you here if it's out. It's still not out yet. We got about 6 minutes at 7:54 a.m. Central Time, so sometimes they put it out early, but right now it's still not out, so keep an eye on it. Again, thank you guys for joining. New video coming out this morning. Make sure if you're here in the live stream to like the live stream, sub up this channel on Weather on the Go. My name's Hunter, by the way, so if you guys don't know my name is Hunter on Weather on the Go. So we have a video coming out at 9 o'clock. The video will go more over in depth the severe weather threat, not only for today, but for Friday. We'll go to Friday real quick here on the slides. So we've been talking a lot about Thursday. Let's go to Friday real quick here. You can see this is the current day 2 severe weather outlook for Friday. This is for the end of the week here on March 15th. This will be updated again at 12:30 p.m. from the Storm Prediction Center. That's when they update their day 2 outlooks, is at 12:30 in the afternoon. Right now, a small slight risk there in toward the Austin, San Antonio, and the Victoria, Texas region, maybe up toward Waco as well. We'll keep an eye on that. This could expand in coverage. We could see maybe an upgrade to an enhanced risk as we get closer. We'll keep an eye on that. Big hail potential, though. San Antonio, Austin, Victoria, west of the Houston region, maybe as far north as Waco potentially, seeing some big hail as we go into Friday. Tornado threat there as well, 2%. Also a 2% tornado threat in South Carolina and eastern Georgia on Friday. Friday morning, storms ongoing, Dallas-Fort Worth area. Those will start to move east into Louisiana. So Baton Rouge, Alexandria, Lake Charles, those areas will start to see more storms Friday afternoon. Those could be severe. And then more supercells. This is a similar look to what we saw in Kansas last night. We could have some big supercells kind of arcing its way across central and south central Texas. And those could be some very mature storms. I mean, we could be talking easily 2-3 inch diameter hailstones here, and some tornadoes potentially. So we'll watch that for the Austin and San Antonio region especially. So yeah, I'm going to look real quick to see if there's any new storm reports coming in from around the St. Louis area this morning. Let's see here. Storm reports. So far, there have not been any reports today for 3/14/24. And by the way, if you guys are mathematic wizards out there, today is actually Pi Day, 3/14. Today is Pi Day, believe it or not. So if any of you guys like math or anything like that, today's a special day. It's Pi Day, so 3/14. Where are they launching from? Florida? If they're launching in southern Florida, they should be okay. It really depends on the wind and like the wind direction and speed of the wind and everything. So hard to say. Isn't it Cape Canaveral, Florida? Is that where the SpaceX launch is going to be? Hey Julie, thanks for. Hi Hunter, Julie says. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you, Tyler. Fun fact, the area code for, St. Louis is 314? Really? Wow. Did not know that. Yeah, today's 3/14/24, so today is Pi Day. Because pi is 3.14. It's a mathematics term, Pi Day. In mathematics, pi is 3.14. And today's 3/14. Yeah, you guys like. So, what's your favorite now? Now, since we're talking about pie, what's your favorite pie? Apple pie, pumpkin pie, banana cream pie. What other pies are there? You could make almost anything. You can almost make anything for a pie. Raspberry pie, strawberry pie. I'm sure you can make anything. What's your favorite? Anybody got any new pie flavors that you want to have me try one time? Since it's Pie Day today. All right. Again, we're gonna put the old risk on here. Let me look up. It's 7:59. Let me see if the new Storm Prediction Center risk is out yet for today. Comes out at 8 o'clock. Sometimes they come out early with it. And it is not. So we're going to keep watching and waiting here. We're waiting still for the new outlook to come out. I see, let's see, what pies do you guys like? Ooh, I forgot about that. Pecan pie is pretty good. Coconut cream pie, that's a good one. Apple pie, key lime. There you go, key lime pie. I used to eat that a lot. I see a couple people like key lime. Brooklyn and Zempin. Chocolate cream. That's good. Strawberry cake with strawberry. Without the strawberry. That's good too. A lot of those are good. You guys are making me hungry now. Today's your birthday, Annabor? Well, happy birthday to you. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here on your birthday. Happy birthday. Everybody here in the live stream chat, say happy birthday to Annabor. It's your birthday today. So I'm keeping right now, this is the latest Storm Prediction Center outlook. This was issued at 1 o'clock in the morning this morning. The newest outlook is literally either right now, I'll look it up again, or it's literally just minutes, seconds away at this point. We're waiting for the new outlook to come out. It literally could look the same or it could look completely different. We're just waiting right now. They're a minute over 8 o'clock and they still haven't put the new outlook out yet. I'm on the Storm Prediction Center's website and they still do not have one out yet. So sometimes they go over by about 15-20 minutes. If that's the case, then well, I guess we'll wait. Banana pudding pie. Banana cream. Yeah, I said that earlier. That's pretty good. How about chocolate silk pie? You guys like that too? It's pretty good. Too many carbs and calories and a lot of sugar in that. I see a lot of new people in here, which is great. Building the community together. So let's see here. Yeah, again, if you guys are new here, sub up to the channel. We're getting so close. We're almost 20. We're just below 20,000 subscribers away from 100,000. I would love to hit 100,000 subscribers by this summer or fall coming up. That would be great. And every single one of you subscribing to the channel helps me get closer to that goal. So I really appreciate it. This is what we do here. Accurate weather forecasts. Again, my name is Hunter, if you're wondering. And if you guys are new here as well, I know I've said this, I've put this in the live stream chat a few times. Make sure to go sub up to my second channel right there. I just put it in the live stream chat. We're only 4 subscribers from 400, and it is North Central Weather Center. We'd love to get closer to 500 today if possible. If you have any friends, family that lives in the North Central U.S., go sub up to that channel that focuses more on the North Central U.S. The Northern Plains, Central Plains, Upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, Lower Midwest, those areas. That's what we focus on. Kind of the Dakotas and Nebraska and Kansas and Missouri. That's as far south as we go on that channel. Oh, we're still waiting. We're still waiting. All right, folks, the new outlook is out, and you will be surprised, I'll tell you that. They actually made the slight risk bigger, and they made the enhanced risk a little wider, actually, folks. We have some major changes, a little bit of some major changes. So let me go to show you here. Let me go to a new page and show you the new outlook. Whoa, don't want to do that. I did not do that right. So here's the new outlook here for today. This is the newest one. So if you guys can see that, this is the Storm Prediction Center's newest outlook for today. This just came out literally a minute ago. So this is the new outlook for today. My video's outlook that I put in, I did my video earlier. It's going to look different than this, unfortunately, but they did actually back up this enhanced risk area further west. So this is closer to Tulsa now, and it's a little closer to Oklahoma City. Not quite there, but they backed it up further to the west into eastern Oklahoma there, and a little bit further towards the Red River, so into North Texas. So that's the newest area. They also expanded this slight risk further into central Kentucky, closer to Nashville as well, into Middle Tennessee. They expanded it more into northern Mississippi and northern Louisiana, and so we'll watch that. And they actually got rid of the marginal risk of severe weather for Chicago. So I know there's a couple people from Chicago in here. Your severe weather threat is basically over today. So Cook County and Chicago, the northern suburbs especially, and the western suburbs, your severe weather threat is over for today with the new outlook. Peoria down to Champaign, Urbana, Kankakee, St. Louis, you're still in that slight risk. Louisville's still in the slight risk. Cincinnati's in the slight risk. And Indianapolis, Paducah, Memphis, Jackson, Tennessee, Tupelo, Mississippi, Shreveport, down to Dallas-Fort Worth, Waco, Texarkana, Little Rock, you're still in the slight. Jonesboro still in the slight. Fort Smith still in the slight. Branson, Missouri. So I'm just kind of naming some towns out there so you can help you out a little bit. Yeah, my video is going to be out in about 54 minutes from now, so not very long. Let's actually look at the probabilistic here to see if they changed anything from that real quick. Okay, so they did, folks. They did. I was actually thinking they were going to, and they actually did. So the Storm Prediction Center, earlier on in their 1 a.m. outlook, was pretty conservative, just a 10% chance of tornadoes. It's still a 10% chance, but they add in the hatch marks, which means a strong, violent tornado potential today across southeastern Oklahoma and into west central and northern Arkansas. This does include Little Rock here, I do believe. So let's kind of zoom in here at the region there. Let's zoom into that area real quick. Actually going to zoom into just Arkansas real quick here. Arkansas. So there we go. There's the hatched risk of tornadoes today. This does include the Conway, right on the Little Rock metro region, Batesville, the Russellville, Hot Springs, very close to Arkadelphia. I would actually consider you probably in that 10% because you're 25 miles away, I'm sure, within a 25-mile radius. Mountain Home, Harrison, Fayetteville. Fayetteville, you have a significant violent tornado potential today. Fort Smith, Mena, over there towards Ardmore, Oklahoma. Let's look at eastern Oklahoma too as well for those folks there with the tornado potential. Oklahoma. So McAllister up to Muskogee and Hugo. That's the area we're watching. Ardmore, you're kind of on the outside looking in, but you still have a 5% chance of a tornado there. Up toward Ada, you're basically in a 5% chance of tornadoes in the Tulsa region. The Norman area, hanging on by a thread there, the 2% chance. Bartlesville as well. Stillwater, you're very close. So yeah, significant tornadoes. EF2s or stronger are likely today. So this actually has trended upwards since earlier. So we need to take this more seriously. And here's the hatched hail potential has actually grown as well in size a little bit to include more Missouri and Arkansas. So we still have that hatched hail risk. In this dashed lines, we could be seeing a 15 or in the 15% chance of 2-inch or larger hail in the yellow. In the red, that's 30% chance of large hail of 2 inches or larger in diameter for Little Rock and those areas in Arkansas and southern Missouri and into eastern, southeastern Oklahoma here on Thursday today. So just showing you the new outlook that just came out. Hey, we just need 2 more subscribers. I'm going to put it one more time or so, a couple more times in the chat. 2 more subscribers on the North Central Weather Center, my second channel, and we will be at 400. So I would love to hit 400 there. Would love to hit 80,300 before I'm done here. I'm at this main channel, Weather on the Go. We're at 80,234. Would love to hit 80,300 before we're gone here today. So make sure to sub up on that channel and the other one as well. Appreciate everybody being here. Let's see. Thanks, Snowies, for being here. Thank you, Snowies. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining. Campbellsville, Kentucky here. Watch out for severe weather later today. Brooklyn, I was in the slight risk and now my town. I'm south of Tulsa in the enhanced. Yes, so you got upgraded. You were actually in the significant hail risk. Let's go down there. So you're in eastern Oklahoma, you said? Let's go by state again. So yeah, you're south of Tulsa. You're in that enhanced. Yeah, you're in that 5%, very close to that 10% hatch risk of tornadoes today. In your area, you're also you do have the biggest chance for you is the big hail today. So you're in a 30% chance of significant hail. So you have essentially a 30% chance. Think about that for a second. A 30% chance is not that big, but comparing that to climatology, 30% chance of golf ball size hail or hen egg size hail or larger, up to baseball size, maybe even softball size hail today, like we saw in Kansas yesterday night, is a pretty significant chance, actually. A 30% of significant hail is a pretty decent chance. Thank you, Annabor. Appreciate it. Again, happy birthday to you. 43457. Zip code. Not really doing zip codes, but I guess I'll do yours here real quick. You're just south of Toledo. So let's kind of zoom out here. You're south of Toledo. You are currently, I think, at a slight... No, you're in a... you're right on the line between the marginal and the slight risk there. So let me go up to Ohio real quick. Ohio... You have a 2% chance, essentially, of a tornado today. And the significant hail is off to your west into Indianapolis vicinity, but you still have a chance of hail, maybe 5 to 15% chance of hail there for you. So keep an eye on that. Again, just joining, this is the newest outlook here from the Storm Prediction Center. They have made adjustments for especially eastern Oklahoma, the most significant adjustment, and also a slight risk expansion into more of the Tennessee Valley and the Mid-South vicinity. So more of eastern Oklahoma and that enhanced risk on the day one outlook at 8 a.m. versus the day one outlook at 1 a.m. My town is Bixby. All right. Bixby. Where's that, in Ohio? Bixby, Ohio? Sounds like an Ohio town. What is the name of your other channel? I'll put it in the chat here. My name of the other channel is North Central Weather Center. I just put it in the chat for you, Cat Skills. Thank you very much. Make sure to go sub that up. We're at 403 now. Everybody go sub up the channel, especially if you live in the North Central United States, North Central Weather Center. We're up to 403 subscribers. Would love to get close to 500 on that. I'll have a video out on that channel tomorrow on Friday. We do Monday, Wednesday, Friday videos on there. Unless we have a big major event, and then we do a video on those days for that area. San Francisco. Prince, San Francisco, good morning. Thank you for joining. Yeah, absolutely. California, no thunderstorm risk out there today. Very quiet out there in California, at least with the thunderstorms. Oh, Bixby, Oklahoma. Okay, gotcha. Oh, yeah, you said you're south of Tulsa, right? So, yeah, you're in that enhanced risk. Is Jonesboro in the enhanced? Let's look at Arkansas again. Arkansas, Jonesboro is in the enhanced risk. Yes, you're on the far northeastern quadrant of the enhanced risk. You're in the 10% chance of tornadoes. The hatched risk, though, is just to your west, but I really wouldn't rule out the chance of a strong tornado. Even if you're outside of that area, I think Jonesboro really, 25 miles away is not, you're not that far from that. So I would consider you pretty much in that hatched risk in Jonesboro. Don't look at that hatched risk and say, well, Jonesboro can't have a strong tornado. That's not true. They could. You're basically, 25, 30 miles from Batesville probably, so maybe a little bit further, but you're close enough. I would include you into the hatched risk of tornado potential there in Jonesboro. Let's see here. Subscribe to the other channel. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, guys, go. It's still up there. North Central Weather Center. Go subscribe to the channel. We're at 405 now. We're getting closer. We need 95 more subscribers. We'll be at 500. That would be cool. That would be really cool. Again, this is Friday's outlook. This will be updated again at 12:30 this afternoon. So the Friday outlook, the day 2 outlook for tomorrow will be updated. Another big day potentially across southern Texas. So southern Texas, Friday is your day for big storms, big hail, tornado risk there. Tornado risk for the Austin region is 2% right now, and also tornado risk over here into South Carolina and eastern Georgia as well there on Friday. But by far, today is looking to be one of the biggest days of severe weather for the country that we have seen so far this year. It's looking to be that, so we'll continue to watch that. Hopefully it's not. We don't want any tornadoes today, but it's looking synoptically like it is going to be one of the biggest days of severe weather we have seen thus far in 2024. And we're just getting started. It's only March, folks, so we're getting closer. We're getting closer for sure. Thank you, Donica, for subscribing. Thank you, It's Nobody G. Thank you, David. I appreciate all you guys subscribing. And Zempin, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right there. What does St. Louis and O'Fallon area look like, Tasha? So let's go back here to my slideshow and go back to... all right, let's look at the St. Louis O'Fallon region. Currently seeing storms moving through. We actually did see some tornado warnings. I think 3 or 4 of them this morning in St. Louis vicinity. Those will move east through the morning, and I think as we go into the afternoon, we're going to see more of those storms starting to be more scattered. So not everybody in the and it's not a guarantee St. Louis even sees severe weather later on this afternoon, but the potential is there. You do have a slight risk and a tornado risk and large hail risk. The significant tornado parameter is there, so any one of those storms could rotate if they do develop around St. Louis and O'Fallon, but it's not a slam dunk. I think the heaviest storms will again be southern Missouri, Arkansas, and eastern Oklahoma, and maybe southern Illinois today. So there's a chance. I'd say about 50-50. Awesomeness in a can. I like your name on there. Subscribe. Appreciate it. Donica, thanks for subscribing. Good morning from Cleveland, Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee, you got some storms moving in as we go into tonight and tomorrow. So this afternoon and this morning, pretty quiet in Tennessee. It's this evening into western Tennessee, Memphis, Jackson to Clarksville, and then Nashville about mid-evening. 8, 9, 10 o'clock, seeing more of those storms, and then a big line of storms crossing through middle Tennessee there, the Cumberland Plateau there, Cookeville, Crossville, over to Knoxville, and Chattanooga, starting to see more of that. Franklin, Tennessee, Murfreesboro, a lot of those areas, damaging winds and hail overnight. This will be after midnight, so we're looking at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, so probably waking you up out of your sleep potentially with some loud thunder and some heavy raindrops on your rooftop as we go into early Friday morning there. Future radar, absolutely, for Arkansas. So let's look here at Arkansas. This morning, pretty quiet outside of a stray shower or storm around Fort Smith or northwest of Little Rock. This afternoon, we're watching to the west. That's why they added in the enhanced risk in eastern Oklahoma, is because the initiation of these storms is a little further west than originally thought. So they added that region into an enhanced risk today. We could still see some isolated to widely scattered supercells potentially developing as soon as early afternoon, 1-2 o'clock here, and really taking off as we get toward mid-late afternoon as they cross into Arkansas there. So Tulsa, down toward Ardmore and Stillwater, those are the areas to keep an eye on into eastern Oklahoma. And then Fort Smith there in Arkansas, and then eventually Little Rock. You can see Arkansas. It's mainly an evening event for you there in Arkansas, so that's what we're watching out for. Mainly an evening event for you there. Absolutely, Donica. Thank you for asking. Just because you're not in the green on what the outlook. If you're in a dark green area, that is a marginal risk of severe weather. So, for example, if you're in this area here in the dark green, that's a level 1 out of 5. Marginal risk is severe. The lighter green is just a 0 out of 5, essentially just a general thunderstorm, like your everyday garden variety type of storms. The yellow is a 2 out of 5, and the orange is a 3 out of 5 on the scale. So technically, if you're in the enhanced risk here in the orange, you only have 2 more categories left to go to get to the highest level on the threat scale. That goes into a 4 out of 5 is a moderate, 5 out of 5 is obviously a high risk. Those are rare days, and I don't see today going to a moderate risk until maybe this afternoon. Maybe a small area gets upgraded. It just depends on the mesoscale details, but I really think that an enhanced risk will do with the system as we go into the afternoon and evening. So an enhanced risk is still a pretty decent threat for severe weather, so don't discount it and say, well, it's just a 3 out of 5. Well, pretty decent chance. 3 out of 5 is a pretty good odds for severe weather. Again, I'm going to keep doing it. We're almost to 500, might as well. If you guys are new here and just joining, we're going over the threat area for today of severe weather, the new outlook from the Storm Prediction Center coming out at 8 o'clock just moments ago, 10 minutes ago or so. And again, if you're new here, subscribe to this channel, Weather on the Go. Like the live stream. Even after it ends, I appreciate it. You guys can still ask your questions even after this live stream ends as well. So don't think you can't. You guys can. New video coming out at 9 o'clock or so this morning. Yeah, there's a tornado warning there. Steel hits in Illinois. That's, I believe, let me look again. I think it's radar indicated, though, still. That's in southern Illinois, I believe. I believe, yeah, near the St. Louis region. Yeah, so that's just between St. Louis and Springfield. That's a tornado warning, still radar indicated. But a big line of storms moving through with 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts pretty quickly, moving east at 50 to 60 miles an hour. So those storms won't be around too long for southern Illinois this morning. Just some brief heavy rain and stuff like that. How did I get into the weather? Well, I guess I used to live in Florida, and I went through hurricanes when I was younger, so I guess it was kind of how I got into it. So, yeah, so I used to live in Naples, Florida when I was younger, and went through a couple hurricanes when I was younger. I vaguely remember it. I don't really remember too much. I was too young then. I was like probably, I don't even know how old, like 8 maybe, 6, something like that. St. Louis getting weather later today. Maybe some strong storms. You're in a slight risk of severe weather in the St. Louis region today. We'll definitely keep an eye on that for sure. We were in Punta Gorda where Hurricane Ian hit. Yeah, Hurricane Ian wasn't a very good storm. None of these storms are good, but yeah, Hurricane Ian, I remember that very vividly, and it's a pretty strong storm, that was for sure. Hurricane Ian had a lot of flooding and storm surge with that. It was a slower mover too, I believe. Yeah, this, unfortunately, I know we're talking severe weather right now, but if you folks live down in the southeast, East Coast, Gulf Coast, even into the Greater Antilles, like the Dominican Republic, if you're watching, I doubt we'll have anybody watching from like those areas, but if you are, La Nina is on its way back for summer and fall, right in time for the hurricane season to start June 1st. So, and the waters out there, if you haven't heard, the waters into the Atlantic Basin in the main development region, the MDR, are the warmest they have been at this point ever. I think almost on record. I think like I'll have to look, but I believe June, July levels of warm water temperatures already, and it's only March out there. So the hurricane season's looking like a doozy this year. That is for sure. Hopefully not. Hopefully we don't have many hurricanes, but all signs point toward a very, very, very active hurricane season in the Atlantic Basin this year with the La Nina coming back and everything. And a very, very busy severe weather season at that. So not only hurricane season, severe weather season, already seeing a lot of outbreaks, and just wait till April, May, and June. It's going to get even busier, folks. We're going to be seeing probably weekly enhanced risk coming in as we get into May. So how likely is Seminole, Oklahoma to get tornadoes today? Let's look at Seminole real quick. I don't remember exactly where that's at here. Let's see. Okay, so you're east of Oklahoma City. You're kind of on the line there. I'll zoom in here to Oklahoma again and kind of look for you. There we go. So you are in the marginal to slight risk zone. You're basically on that area where the storms are going to develop. So the storms will likely develop near or right over your area later today, and they'll march eastward. The most significant storms into Oklahoma are likely for Ada, Ardmore, Hugo, McAllister, Muskogee, and then up toward Tulsa there. So that's where we're going to see the most significant storms. And the tornado potential is highest toward McAllister, Muskogee, and Hugo, and just east of Ardmore and Ada there. 10% hatch risk for strong, long-track, violent tornado potential later today. All right, let's see here. I don't think there's any storm reports coming in right now from any of the storms this morning, but we'll keep an eye on it here. Let's see. Hey folks, we're at 80,251 subscribers. We're only 49 subscribers away from reaching 80,300. I would love to hit 80,300 before the live stream ends today, so we only need 49 more people here on the main channel. So if you guys can make that happen, I would truly appreciate it. Thank you guys for all your generosity. Tornado sirens woke me up 20 minutes before my alarm. Well, that's good. You want tornado sirens to wake you up. They're not really meant for indoors, though. But hey, if it works, right? So here's the new outlook for today. If you guys are wondering, this is the outlook for today that was just updated a little after 8 o'clock from the Storm Prediction Center. New outlook will come out at 11:30 a.m. this morning. They'll update that at 11:30. They'll update again at 3 p.m. this afternoon as the storms are rumbling across the deep south there. And then there'll be a new one coming out after that in the early evening. So thank you, Indiana Weather, for your $4.99. I appreciate it. I feel like the north central Indiana area might be a shocker in terms of tornadoes. It could be. It definitely could be. You're in a marginal to slight risk up there in northern Indiana there. If we zoom into that region, you can see that Indiana, we are keeping an eye on that region as well. Say like South Bend and Gary over towards just north of Fort Wayne, you're in a marginal 1 out of 5. Fort Wayne, Lafayette, Muncie, those areas into north central Indiana. Maybe the Fishers region, Fisher, Indiana, you're in that area. Indianapolis, you're in a 2 out of 5, a slight risk. And you're very close to that stationary boundary. So yeah, I think you're right, Indiana Weather. It could be an interesting day. Those significant tornado parameter that I was looking at on the 06ZH model earlier on, we're hitting high at about 5s, 6s, and 7s. So that's pretty high on the scale. We'll see. The main question mark, I do think, though, Indiana Weather, is northern Indiana. Will there be enough recovery time from the storms that moved through this morning? You know, there's a lot of storm activity moving through this region this morning. If we have drizzle and showers and storms ongoing later than expected, that could kind of squelch the atmosphere from recovering with instability. So that'll be something to keep an eye on for sure. But if we can recover this afternoon in that region, certainly we could be seeing some severe weather and some tornadoes. So I believe the tornado threat for Indiana, yeah, there it is, 2 to 5%. The highest chance into central and southern Indiana there. So Lafayette, Muncie, Indianapolis Metro, Terre Haute, the Bloomington, Jasper region, Evansville. I think this is pronounced Vincennes. If anybody lives in that region, you can let me know. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. I am from Northern Illinois. Sometimes it's hard to pronounce some of these other cities around. Try to do as best I can, though. But I appreciate it. Your $4.99 Indiana weather. Thank you so much for your generosity. What time is Arkansas looking at for the storms to start, Chris? It looks like we'll switch over to this real quick. Switch over to this here real quick. So this morning you're fine. It's the afternoon. We're waiting and we're watching. Back to the west, storms roaming the landscape in eastern Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas, starting toward Fort Smith. And then I think as we go into the evening hours, so we're talking, did you say a specific city? Let me see here. Arkansas in general. Yeah, you're looking at mainly the evening hours. Late afternoon in western and northwestern Arkansas. Early to mid-evening in central, and then eastern and southeastern and like southern Arkansas there, you're talking about more like late evening toward midnight. So that's what we're seeing right now. And you can see down toward the Little Rock region and Hot Springs and over there into eastern and southeastern Arkansas, those significant tornado parameter values are approaching 10. So that's pretty significant. Any one of those storms could tap into that and produce some significant tornadoes later on today. So we're looking at that potential, and let's see here. We're getting closer, folks. We're at 80,257. Our goal for the live stream is 80,300 subscribers. If we can do that, I would appreciate it. Video is coming out here very soon on the main channel here. If you guys live in the north central U.S., again, I'm going to continue to put this down here. Subscribe to the channel. I just put it in the live stream chat. We're just over 400. Would also love to hit 500 subscribers on that channel. Make sure to like this live stream even after the live stream ends. Here's some of the hail reports. If you guys are new here from Kansas and Missouri, yesterday night, this is from Wednesday, 3/13, March 13th time frame, 2024. And we saw a lot of big hail reports. Look at that. Softball size in Alma, Kansas. If you guys are just joining, we saw that yesterday evening. Large teacup size in Bonner Springs, baseball size in Grand View, tennis ball size in Edwardsville. We had hen egg size, Manhattan, into Shawnee. We had some big golf ball size hailstones there, even into Missouri, Carrollton, and Oregon, Missouri, even seeing ping pong ball size at 1.5 inches in diameter. So that's just some of the, I think 79 or so, 80 hail reports that we saw come in from yesterday. And there very well could add to that some of those reports. So through today with surveys and stuff. So we'll certainly keep an eye on that. And we could start to see more hailstones like that again today too. That's a potential that we could see. Yeah, the main concern right now is in Illinois. Right now, those storms are mostly damaging wind and hail producers. There are tornado warnings with them, and we'll have to keep an eye on it because Illinois, we are in that near the stationary boundary this morning, but I think those storms will be weakening. I think once we get towards late morning, 10, 11 o'clock, as they move into Indiana and Ohio, they'll kind of be weakening from west to east. And then depending on if the atmosphere can recover, if we can see sunshine, more scattered severe weather across the Illinois Valley there, especially central and southern Illinois as we go deeper into the afternoon and evening. Any chance for a severe thunderstorm watch or tornado watch? Yes, there's a pretty decent chance for a tornado watch probably in eastern Oklahoma sometime this afternoon. I would bet early to mid-afternoon if that came out, probably 2, 3 o'clock, maybe even sooner. So that I would bet a tornado watch would be issued if all the data shows what it's showing now and actually comes to fruition. I think a tornado watch is probably your most probable severe weather watch in eastern Oklahoma later today. What's the Torcon for Columbia City, Indiana? I don't do Torcons, but I could kind of give you an idea of the potential for tornadoes. The Columbia City, I would say probably like a 2 or 3. I guess if you're saying the Torcon, like a 20-30% chance of a tornado technically, but according to the Storm Prediction Center, if we go back to here, we're going to go off there is a 2% chance. So you got about a 2% chance within a 25-mile radius of your location there, 5% across central and south central Indiana, closer towards Lafayette, Muncie, Indianapolis, the Fisher region, Terre Haute, Bloomington, Jasper, Evansville, those areas. Keeping an eye on that. And again, here's the newest outlook. We're going to zoom out. We're going to show you for all of you guys just joining here. This is the newest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center just literally maybe 20 minutes ago, 15, 20 minutes ago for today. This is the day one outlook, came out around 8:10, 8:15. They did expand the slight risk further east into the Ohio-Tennessee River Valley, closer to Nashville and Lexington, closer to Tupelo there, into Shreveport area, and then back down towards Tyler, Texas, and Texarkana. But they did actually expand the enhanced risk further west towards Tulsa and towards eastern Oklahoma and those areas, toward Ardmore into southeastern Oklahoma here for today. Is all the red heavy rain? Yeah, heavy rain in the red and the hail cores. It's pronounced Vincennes. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. David. Dr. David, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Vincennes. All right. Thank you for letting me know, because I was always curious about that. Some of those pronunciations are kind of tough sometimes, so I appreciate you letting me know. Yeah, if all the data does come to fruition, I think, yeah, the tornado watch could be possible later today into the especially late afternoon, early evening for northern Arkansas. Definitely a possibility. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. If you are new here and have not subscribed to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button. A video will be coming out literally in about 20-30 minutes. So make sure, if you are new to this channel, Weather on the Go, to subscribe down below. And it definitely helps out. And make sure to like the live stream. And again, I'm putting in the live stream chat my second weather channel on here. It's called North Central Weather Center. If you're just new to the chat, we're getting closer to 500 subscribers on that one as well. Yeah, we're at 413. We're getting close. Alrighty, folks. Well, thank you so much for joining here this morning. Let's see. We got a couple questions coming in here real quick. Yeah, Fayetteville, Arkansas. You're right in the middle of an enhanced risk today. So you got to watch the weather. Be weather aware this afternoon and this evening. That is for sure. Any chance of the southern shores of Lake Erie? There's a slight chance. It's pretty slim. Marginal to slight risk there in northern portions of Ohio. A pretty slim chance of severe weather. There's still a marginal risk up towards southern lower Michigan there, into like the Detroit region, as far north as the severe weather risk goes today. But it's a pretty small risk. You're not really in the warm sector that far north. The warm sector of the storm. Alrighty. Alright, this is the last question I have. If you go to feature radar, I'm in the greens and yellows instead of red. Is that the red is usually more significant severe storms and more heavy rain and stuff like that. The yellows are a little bit less intense, and then the green, like the darker green and the lighter green, that's less intense. So the red's the worst. Reds, purples, pinks, that means, you know, hail and very heavy rains on the radar, usually. Fayetteville, Arkansas, you're in an enhanced risk of severe weather today. You're also in the threat for some significant long-tracked, violent tornadoes. We're talking about potentially EF2 or stronger variety tornadoes today, and also the potential for some damaging or destructive hail that could be well over 2 inches in diameter, like we saw yesterday. Alma, Kansas saw softball size hail. That could be the same chance down here. We have enough energy, enough instability. We could be talking about some of those 2, 3, even 4-inch diameter hailstones, those baseball size hailstones, tennis ball size, and softball size hailstones potentially this afternoon. Not a slam dunk, but definitely something to keep in mind. Stay weather aware there. All right, folks. Well, thank you guys so much for joining here. I wish I could stay longer. I do have to get some rest for the day. So if you guys have any more questions, I will be answering them throughout the morning and then later on today as well. So make sure to stick around. If I didn't get to your question, ask it after the live stream is over. I'll be happy to answer it here and type up your question, the answer to your question. So again, I appreciate each and every one of you joining. If you have not subscribed to this channel, Weather on the Go, consider it. Hitting the subscribe button. Video will be out momentarily around 9:15 this morning. And it'll be going over more of the data here for severe weather today. It will have the old outlook on it, unfortunately. I'm not recording a video right now. I recorded it with the old outlook. But it gives you still the general idea of timing and intensity of storms, when you can expect them, and the video goes over longer range weather forecasts into late March. Will there be more severe weather, or will we have more snow potentially, have some cooler air or warmer air coming in? I'll answer that question in that video, and I do appreciate everybody joining here this morning. I think I like these morning severe weather briefings and discussions. Definitely very valuable, I do think, to get you guys ready for your day. If you guys are eating breakfast and stuff like that, getting up for the day, these are definitely helpful to get you the information that you need. Again, we're all business here, accurate weather forecasts always on this channel, and I do appreciate each and every one of you, my old subscribers, my new subscribers. Thank you guys that donated today. I appreciate it. It is a big help. Every little bit helps. You guys didn't even have to do that, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. It's Nobody G. Appreciate it. Absolutely, Brooklyn. Thank you for asking your questions. All you guys had great questions. Never hesitate to ask any weather questions. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability always. And that's what we try and strive to do here, is be accurate as possible. And, I don't know everything. I'm knowledgeable, but I don't know every single answer to every question. But I challenge myself every day to find the answers to those questions and answer them for you as best to my ability. So I strive to do that every day. So thank you guys so much for joining. Have a great Thursday out there, a safe Thursday. Again, remain weather aware from the Ohio Valley, the southern Great Lakes, all the way down here through portions of the Mid-South and the Southern Plains today. And then as we go into Friday, make sure along the Gulf Coast and Dixie Alley in the southeast, all the way to South Central Texas, you stay safe. More information on that in my video coming out momentarily. Make sure to like the video down below and subscribe to the channel once it comes out at 9 o'clock this morning. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day out there, and I will see you all later on, all right? Have a good rest of your day, everyone.